Anki Cozmo. Welcome to Project Ventive. In our today's video, we are going to talk about the Anki Cozmo. Before the video starts, like and share this video. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel Project Ventive for more updates. The Cozmo Robot 2.0 is not merely a plaything. Rather, it provides a glimpse into the world of robotics' foreseeable future. It can read and react to the physical world in a manner not dissimilar to how people do, since it is equipped with sophisticated sensors and cameras. It can learn and adapt over time thanks to the fact that it can learn human-like responses from experiences and contacts. Anki has created something more intricate and advanced, even though it may look like a straightforward robot toy. It is a true testament to the powers of artificial intelligence and how it can be utilized to create robots that are interactive and entertaining, as well as robots that can learn and adapt to their environments. This testament comes in the form of Cozmo Robot 2.0. Anki, a business that develops consumer robotics devices, is responsible for the creation of the small, interactive robot known as Cozmo. Cozmo was developed to be a companion and playmate for both children and adults. It includes several capabilities that give it the ability to learn, engage with its surroundings, and play games. Cozmo can move around and interact with its environment in a variety of different ways thanks to its expressive LCD screen face, built-in wheels, as well as a range of sensors and cameras. In addition, users can design their programs and routines for the robot to carry out by programming it with CodeLab, a graphical programming interface that was developed by Anki and is based on the Scratch programming language. As a consequence of this, Cozmo is an enjoyable and interesting companion that users of any age will find to be quite satisfying. When it was first introduced, there was nothing else on the market quite like Cozmo. The day that Anki began shipping Cozmo was October 16, 2016. Anki's artificial intelligence robot was a cute little companion that was intended to educate children on technology and increase their level of technological literacy. It had a very endearing appearance. It reminded me quite a bit of Wall-E from the Pixar film. Yet, it was essentially a supercomputer on treads with highly advanced artificial intelligence and movement technology. When compared to Anki Drive, Cozmo wasn't entirely self-sufficient, but it made significant progress in that direction. Amazing capabilities and features were built into Cozmo during his programming. It was built with something that Anki referred to as an emotion engine, which gave it the ability to react to the interaction of humans. For example, if you were playing one of the many games that Cozmo had built in and it lost, it would make a frustrated motion with its arm by banging it against the table. But if it prevailed, it would celebrate its victory by doing a little dance. All of these abilities were connected to a companion app that provided a sense of accomplishment upon achieving certain learning milestones. Cozmo gained new abilities and capabilities as he worked through various tasks and goals. However, some customers desired additional features. Even though it was fantastic for children and that it provided a unique practical use for this kind of technology, in the end, it was still nothing more than a plaything. With the release of the Vector, Anki's second-generation robot, the company planned to provide a solution to this question. The key characteristics of Cozmo. It is more than just a program toy because it is constructed out of over 300 separate parts. It is naturally inquisitive and possesses a high sense of curiosity, both of which drive it to investigate the environment around it. The built-in camera, sensors, gyroscope, and cliff detector are utilized in the process of analyzing the surrounding area. Every bit of information is sent to a mobile device like a smartphone or tablet. There is no requirement for images to be uploaded to the cloud. The program structure includes a component called CodeLab. It gives inexperienced coders the ability to tailor a program's expressive qualities. The creation of a one-of-a-kind experience is as simple as dragging and dropping a few blocks of code. The presence of pets is recognized straight away. The toy, much like people, adores cats and dogs and can tell the difference between the two species at once. The analysis of a person's looks and measurement of their proportions are used to learn their names. There are no photos in the archive at this time. The numerical characteristics that were scanned will be used to recall the name that was entered. The program allows for the speedy removal of people's names from contact lists. You have the option of deleting specific users, or you can erase the entire system, which will allow users to begin their work from the very beginning. Users are going to be pleased to learn that even though the toy might give the impression of being a delicate electrical device, it was designed to be long-lasting. To produce a product that may be enjoyed for a long period, thousands of tests have been carried out. Internal memory is an accurate representation of reality. The robot can be taught the correct pronunciation of up to 30 characters at once, and the process that it goes through to do so is rather entertaining. One more fascinating quality is the way it behaves differently depending on its state of mind. There may be times when the responses are submissive, but there will also be instances when the responses will be on the verge of becoming downright obstinate. Technical particulars regarding the Cozmo robot. A child or an adult can hold the toy in the palm of their hand. It just weighs 3 pounds and has a base that is 5 inches by 7.5 inches in size. There is no need to assemble anything. It has a charger as well as 3 different power cubes that you may interact with. By downloading the free app, it may be used on any device running either iOS or Android. The game can be played in an explorer mode in which the user can experience the world through the point of view of their robot, or it can play hard games. There is a very capable software development kit, SDK, that has been installed. Using this program, code specialists can construct millions upon millions of one-of-a-kind experiences. There are 32 different challenges already prepared and waiting for you within the Cozmo app. Users in the Code Lab, on the other hand, have access to an infinite number of one-of-a-kind experiences that may be tried out on their toy. The toy's functional utility can be greatly expanded as a result of its one-of-a-kind programmability. It surpasses the capabilities of a hard-wired mechanical device, such as those utilized in assembly lines, which can only carry out pre-programmed functions. The vision capabilities are fairly robust. There is nothing else in the consumer robotics sector that works as well as tools as these cameras. The language that is being used is called Python. Python simplifies the process of learning how to program and increases its adaptability. It is possible to use the toy not only as an entertaining toy but also for educational and therapeutic purposes. If the CPU is connected to a mobile device such as a smartphone or tablet, it can operate independently of the internet. An internal lithium-ion battery pack is utilized by the system when starting from a completely depleted state. The typical charge time is about 30 minutes. Every one of the 3 GameCubes calls for a 1.5 volt/N size battery, which is also referred to as E90 or LR1 battery. It is possible to get up to 40 hours of playtime out of a single cube battery before it needs to be recharged. Cozmo 2.0. Cozmo 2.0 DDL is the next version of Cozmo, and it promises to keep the spirit of Cozmo alive, while incorporating a significant number of hardware improvements. The coding robot that younger children and teenagers can use to learn about artificial intelligence, AI, coding, and technical literacy is still the primary emphasis of this project. To achieve this goal, DDL has designed the chassis with removable pieces so that you can personalize your own Cozmo in whatever way you deem most appropriate. To support some of the more powerful hardware, the battery life has been extended in comparison to the original. Additionally, the facial recognition system has been improved. This was one of the issues that users had with the prior generation of Cozmo. In addition, the movement controls have been improved so that Cozmo is now capable of performing more complex movement operations. Once it is enabled, it requires very little maintenance and promises to be far more responsive than the original Cozmo. However, the setup process requires an app, just like the original Cozmo did. There is a coding workbook available, and it is titled Create with Cozmo. This book is intended for children who have an interest in coding. In addition, there is the Cozmo NAUT coding curriculum, which is designed specifically for educators and was developed in collaboration with the Carnegie Science Center. The crux of the matter. The conclusion regarding this itty-bitty robotics toy can be summed up in a few short words. Even though it is blissfully straightforward and was created with children in mind, it demonstrates the enormous potential of artificial intelligence in the future. The Cozmo robot is a highly advanced product that can observe its surroundings and adjust itself accordingly. a personality has been programmed into the robot. Cozmo is a step towards more complex robots since he can communicate himself in a way that is reminiscent of humans. By developing this one-of-a-kind product, Anki has advanced robotics beyond the capabilities of the driverless miniature race vehicles that came before it. This adorable robot toy may very well be the key to unlocking the door to the future, in an era when artificial intelligence is seeing explosive growth. Fans will still have to wait a little while longer for the widely loved robot, even though the where-to-buy version of Cozmo 2.0 is on its way. The pre-order period concluded in July 2021, and the product is scheduled to be delivered in the third quarter of 2022. After the pre-orders have been fulfilled, you will be able to purchase your very own Cozmo 2.0 for the price of $299.99. This version of the Cozmo is around $100 more expensive than the original. We have some good news and some bad news for you if you are seeking a first-generation Cozmo. The good news is that you shouldn't have any trouble locating them on Amazon. The bad news is that you can expect to pay approximately $589 for one that is still in its original packaging and condition. One was also available for purchase second-hand on eBay for the price of $239.97. Consequently, if you're in a hurry to have your very own Cozmo, the aforementioned choices are available to you. However, taking into account all of the revisions that Digital Dream Labs has made to the layout of the initial version, it is most likely better to hold off for the time being. How did you like the video? Do you like it? Leave your valuable comments in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel Project Ventive on YouTube.